Hello and welcome back to The Broken Shift. My name is Natalie. Hit that like button, subscribe so that you can be notified the next time I upload a new video, and welcome if this is your first time dropping in. Listen, we're going to talk about this. How many of you out there maybe are new nurses, or maybe when you first started nursing, you started working somewhere and you were like, I regret becoming a nurse. Like maybe you hated it, right? I can remember when I started nursing, I knew I didn't want to be a psych nurse. As much as I advocate for mental health, working on a psych unit is a completely different beast. And there's adult psych and there's geriatric psych. Anyhow, I just knew that wasn't my niche. And the thing is that if you're a nurse and you end up in the wrong niche, in the wrong area when you first start, you have to make it through. It might be painful, but then you can always switch once you get the experience. And so we're going to talk about this and see what nurses can do, because that could be why you regret becoming a nurse. You may just be in a niche that's not yours. And of course, I know I'm not downplaying that nurses are understaffed, and the nurse to patient ratios are outrageous at this point. I just posted another video where patients are lined up outside an emergency room and the ER nurses are giving full-on patient care out of the ER. It's insane, right? But hear me out. I was scrolling the wonderful World of Nursing subreddit and I thought this is a great discussion because maybe some of you out there are feeling this way. All right. Our nurse goes on to say, I have been a nurse for almost 2 years now, and it's been nothing but hardship. I care about helping people, but between management, high patient ratio to nurse, I do not know what to do. There are a lot of jobs outside of the hospital or nursing homes. I don't have a lot of options. I think I should go back to school and do something else. I'm very discouraged right now. All I ever hear is all the great opportunities and options nurses have, but I don't see them. And the thing is that there are options for nurses. Now, when you niche down, it may be harder to get into those fields. Are you doing your research before you go into nursing? Do you know what you like? Do you know your personality? For instance, for myself, I knew that before I got into nursing school, or while I was in nursing school, actually, I met a nurse, a fellow student who her sister was a nurse, and her sister worked for a pharmaceutical company. She was like, yeah, my sister makes like really good money working for this. And so I knew in the back of my mind, after I had my time in at the hospital, after I did my 2 years of med surg, I had done some home health and floated a little bit at the hospital and floated to different units and done liver transplant and cardiac care and orthopedics and all of that, and did different types of patient care, that there were some options. Now you do have to search. So we're going to take a look and see what kind of advice people have. You drop me a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know. Actually, I want you to let me know what niche in nursing is not for you. Because I want everyone to see that just because you're a nurse doesn't mean that you want to be a cardiac nurse. I loved cardiac. I love PCU. I love cardiac care. That was my thing. I love to do that. I didn't want to work in the ICU. I didn't want to work, which most nurses want to work in the ICU. And if that there aren't very many Black nurses in the ICU. It was like, yeah, you wanted to go there because of the patient to nurse ratio, and ICU is usually 1-to-1 or 2-to-1 at most, which 2-to-1 is a lot if you have an ICU patient, I think. But when you're in nursing school, the beauty about doing your clinicals is it gives you a feel for what you like. Do you like maternity? Do you like obstetrics? Do you want to work labor and delivery? So anyway, let's go through and see what they have to say. Drop me a comment. Let me know what was your favorite niche in nursing and what was your worst. because I want all the nurses, all new nurses, to see that it's not always great when you start, but that it can get better when you niche down and you know what you want to do. But sometimes you have to try a few different things, right? And so let's see. So someone says, get a year of med surg and then go to a surgery center or endo. Don't give up. There are places that are awesome and you'll learn so much. Going to PACU was the best thing I ever did. And it's been almost 30 years now. I had the best teachers. Don't give up. Your spot is waiting for you. You know what? I completely agree with this nurse. I'm not saying go to PACU. PACU may not be for you. Endo may not be for you, but it could be. Sometimes you have to test out things. Maybe you want to go in and you want to shadow someone for a day and just go into an endo unit and say, hey, I want to come for the day. I want to shadow. I want to see what you do and what a day in the life of a endo nurse is like, and see if this is something I would like to do. This gets a little bit harder. When you live in the big city, you may have different options, different hospitals, different units. And then when you go to smaller towns, your options are a little bit less. I'm going to tell you what I did because I lived in a small town when I started my nursing career. So there weren't like pharmaceutical companies or anything like that. Medical device companies were not a thing where I lived. And although I knew it was an option, it just wasn't a thing where I lived. Someone says, I'm not sure where you are, but it sounds like you have plenty of experience to go elsewhere. I hope you find your niche. Once I did, I really appreciated my mentors and love where I am today. I wish you the best. That's it. I think people think that nursing is just a one size fits all. There are many different areas of nursing. And so finding the niche that fits you, your personality, what you like to do, the way you like to work is very important. And sometimes, yes, med surg might not be it, right? Everyone needs med surg because you need that experience. You're not going to get by without doing 1 to 2 years of med surg, at least, because you need that experience to take on to whatever other niche you're going to. When I started, I was in a small town, so that small town did not have any positions at the local community hospital. I had to work in a nursing home for the first year and wait to get in at the hospital to get the experience there. And then after that, I had to travel and drive an hour away to get to a city to work at a teaching hospital, which I was fortunate that there was a teaching hospital at least an hour away from me. For some people, depending on how rural you are, it might be further away and that may not be an option. A nurse says, I was an RN on a cruise ship for 2 years, mostly dialysis, but was the regular nurse when LPN got busy and had a blast for free, got paid well and didn't spend much as I was saving to buy a house. Went to some awesome places and they let families stay with me when not crowded. I partied a lot but did the job well, and they let me back every now and then when they're full and I'm off. Met some cool health care staff, learned about languages, and never felt safer in foreign countries. Listen to that. Cruise ship, right? Who would think like you could be a nurse on a cruise ship doing dialysis, right? But here's the thing. You have to find out like what's available out there. That option is available, but they're not going to hire you to do dialysis on a ship if you've never done dialysis before. And this has to be your niche. You have to like it, right? So maybe try out. If this is something, go shadow someone in a dialysis unit or in a dialysis facility, because now I think they do outpatient dialysis. You can go to an outpatient unit and shadow someone, maybe get a job there, and then working on a cruise ship is maybe an option. Let me see. Someone says that sounds amazing. It does sound amazing. Like you get to travel and you get to be a nurse and work and enjoy yourself. My goodness, it's like being a travel nurse. It can be stressful, right? Like, and if any of you out there are travel nurses, drop a comment. Let us know where you travel to. California is always looking for nurses. When you travel, you need experience. You have to have the basics, because when you travel, you float. And not just do you float, not just do they float you to different units, but you need the experience, because the training that you're going to get when you go in as a contract nurse is not the same that you're going to get when you go in as a full-time nurse. So you need to know your stuff. Just saying. And you just never know. Sometimes they tell you, oh, you're going to work on this unit, and then they just end up floating you all over the place. And I've been there, done that. Anyway, so someone says, same here, approaching 3 years, move to ambulatory after 1 year at the hospital. Ambulatory is much better stress wise. You still very much encounter burnout. You still work a lot with cranky patients, and providers are even more cranky, I swear, because they run these clinics. Are you interested in technology at all? We use Epic, and I know you can use your background in nursing to improve the Epic system. Epic is a company that I think that's a documentation company they use now, and I think they hire nurses somehow to do things. So these are companies that you can research to see where they need nurses. And if you've been in the hospital, you've used Epic, hey, check them out. My favorite thing to do was when I was looking for different types of jobs to find out like what jobs are out there for nursing, was I would go to Indeed and put in regulatory nurse or something like that, or a pharmaceutical nurse or medical device nurse. You could put like Epic nurse, right? But it's nice to go to these forums, because you can see like things like this. Like in a forum like this, you get nurses telling you like all the different types of jobs that are potentially out there. Some of these jobs are regional, so you may have to relocate. Some may offer you the ability to work remote. I remember my first job was working years ago. I used to work for McKesson, and they had a work from home position where they had contracts where they did Ask a Nurse, and I was able to do that and work remotely. This was a time where there wasn't remote work, and they sent me a computer, set me up and everything. So you just never know. And I think when I told people, even my family, they were like, are you sure? Are you working as a nurse? And I was like, yeah, I am. You're working from home. Nurses don't work from home. And now you have all types of different positions where nurses are not always in the hospital. I'm just saying, I know that we're experiencing a nursing shortage in the hospital, but nurses are burnt out, and some of us are looking for our niche. So that's what we're talking about here. Another nurse says, there are actually a lot of jobs outside of hospitals and nursing homes. I work in primary care. I haven't been able to find them in my area. The clinics hire medical assistants, and everywhere else I've looked requires 3 to 5 years of acute experience. If it says 3 to 5 years and you have 2.5 years, I say apply. If you have 2 years, I say apply. I'm not telling you to lie on your application, but I say apply, because sometimes they may make concessions based on their need if they don't have enough applicants. Another nurse says, I think you're looking at this backwards. You have been successful in your profession and you are looking to step into another direction now. You have a nursing degree and 2 years experience. Now what field can you go into that needs someone with organizational skills, who is responsible, able to perform complex demands in a chaotic environment, and trustworthy? Seems to me you have a lot of options. My mother got her degree as a nutritionist and never worked a day in her field in her entire life. People are looking for you, but they don't know how to find you. Yeah, listen to how she worded this. I don't know who this nurse is that posted in here, but she must help people get hired. I'm going to repeat what she said. She says, now what field can you go into that needs someone with organizational skills who is responsible, able to perform complex demands in a chaotic environment, and trustworthy? Seems to me you have a lot of options. What a way to sell yourself on your resume, right? So you may not end up working as a nurse. Do you think there are organizations out there who are looking for someone like that? And if you work in nursing, that's you. So you don't have to go get another degree. You already have the skills because you work in this environment. And I think that's the part that we miss as nurses, because we just think like nurses are just working in the hospital. No, you got skills, nurses. Nurses got skills. You can multitask. So you want to make sure that when you're selling yourself and you're telling people about yourself, I love the way she worded this. I love the way she worded this. I think I'm going to use it. I love the way she worded this. I think it's amazing. Someone else says, you need to try to get your foot in the door doing something else. I do utilization management and work from home now. Exactly. Check out utilization management. Sometimes we don't know like what the terminology is to put in the search bar. Sometimes you'll put nurse, and when you're searching on Indeed, and things like utilization management will come up. But sometimes it doesn't. But if you put utilization management, case management, you'll get all types of different things, and read through and see if it's something you're interested in. What is it that you need? It's different for everyone. Some people are looking for that work-life balance where they can work from home. Do you want to be tied to a phone? I did Ask a Nurse for a while, and I did it from home. Be mindful of what you need if you are working from home and you got to be taking phone calls, because those calls are inbound. For your time when you're on the phone, you're getting those inbound calls. You have to be in a quiet space. You have to have your office set up, and if you have kids, they need to know that you need quiet so that you can tend to your job, right? So you have to be set up properly when you work from home. Someone says check out care management too. And then she said, I applied and they all denied me. It's very tiring. It's becoming clear that 2 years of med-surg acute experience isn't enough. Did you have special certification or something? The thing with care management is that it's very competitive, because it is, a lot of those jobs are work from home and a lot of people are applying. They can be a little picky, I think. If you work in care management, drop a note below. Let our nurses know what they need to do, what they need to have on their resume if they're applying for that. Because a lot of these jobs say 2 years experience, but again, if you have somebody with more experience, you're going to take someone with more experience, right? Because it is case management of the patient. Let's see. I saw a lot of government jobs and HR jobs for tech aerospace companies that hire people with that degree. What degree? I missed something. Public administration. She wants to go to public administration. I don't know. It's up to you. I think going with a nursing degree and the experience that you have, if you know how to sell yourself, maybe it's worth even paying a headhunter, right? To help you get your resume set up properly so that they can help you word things properly to get you in the door to places where you never thought you would go. And maybe you won't be working as a nurse. You can always keep your nursing license and renew. You won't be working as a nurse, but you'll be working with your skill set, the skill set that you've picked up from nursing. We pick up so many skills from nursing. It's insane. It's insane. I think we downplay it because we think that nursing is just about passing meds and taking care of patients. No, you gain so many skills when you become a nurse. No one teaches you in nursing school how to sell yourself. And we need to take those skills that we learn and make sure that we're properly placing them on our resumes. I'm going to drop this link in the comments. I'll put it in the description actually, because sometimes when I upload my videos, they don't post until later and I have trouble pinning it in the comments. I may come back later and pin it in the comments. I'm trying to figure all that out, but I will definitely put the link to this subreddit. There's more information here. I don't want to read it all, but if you're interested in seeing what these nurses talked about, the other jobs that nurses talked about that are available out there, it will be in the description box. Check it out. And you know what? Hang in there. You already have your nursing degree. I know sometimes it can feel regretful, but remember why you became a nurse, and remember that you're acquiring more life skills working in this field than you even know. And maybe check out a headhunter to help you get your resume set up. All right. I hope you enjoyed this episode of The Broken Shift. Hopefully this helps you fix something. If you're feeling broken, if you're feeling regretful about having become a nurse, and drop me a comment, share your thoughts, and I will see you in the next one. See you later. Love you.